We've got breaking points coverage. Oh
Let's move on to
boy.
the next part.
Can't wait to, should we start? What are the talking points? The USA does this in every country. We only focus on Russia because it's right before the election, and it's not even, those two. We'll go with those two. The US does this in every other country, and wow, crazy that the Russiagate thing is coming out right before the election. That's my two.
This is about Russia. This was actually the first Russia indictment to come down. And it was definitely kind of amusing. The DOJ is alleging a vast Russian social media campaign to influence the U.S. election.
I like how he's like, vast, like, oh, like, can you even imagine? And then in the next breath, it's like, also the Jews might actually control substantial parts of the United States media, banking, political system.
Here is Mayor
Actually, I don't actually know if he believes that, to be fair. I think this guy's just fucking retarded. I don't know if he's a Nazi, too.
Garland at his press conference. Let's take a listen.
Today, our colleagues at the State and Treasury Departments are announcing parallel actions in both of these matters. Those recently reported Iranian activities also include efforts to obtain access to individuals who themselves have access to the presidential campaigns of both political parties. The Justice Department's message is clear. We have no tolerance for attempts by authoritarian regimes to exploit our democratic system of government. We will be relentlessly aggressive in countering and disrupting attempts by Russia and Iran, as well as China or any other foreign malign actor to interfere in our elections and undermine our democracy.
Okay, so that was part of the big press conference. Next, let's put this one up there on the screen. They have announced a plan to counter Russian influence ahead of the 2024 election. I went through, and while this RT indictment was a separate one, it actually came out much later than the original one. The original one, honestly, is a complete...
Aren't these guys progressive? Why wouldn't they believe the DOJ on this? Sagar is just a dipshit, kind of conservative moron, but he's just really stupid. And Crystal Ball is like a tanky / like ultra progressive. So she is going to always hate America and side against America and just have the dumb. They're both like very dumb. They're both very dumb. And their political affiliations are also prone to being dumb. So like combined, it's just like a lot of like dumb. It's just stupid and dumb. It's like Dumb and Dumber, but they're on like a show that makes you dumber. I don't know. I don't know who watches this. I don't know who this is supposed to appeal to. Because they're not even, like, for instance, if you ask me about Rush Limbaugh, I can tell you exactly why Rush Limbaugh. He's sharp. He's got a sharp tongue. He's funny. He's clever. He's connected. He's got good memes. The golden microphone at the EIB network. My cigar-stained fingertip. Rush was just an entertaining guy. I could 100% tell you why people listen to something like that, even though I think he's insane or was insane. Or like Joe Rogan. I know why people would watch Joe Rogan. He's chill, he's a bro, he's like pretty funny, he's casual, brings on a lot of different types of dudes. I totally get it. Even like people like Hassan, I get it. Even if I would never watch these guys, and even if personally I don't even think they're that entertaining, and I would never listen to Joe Rogan on my own. I get it. I know why people do. For people like this, like Breaking Points, I have no idea who the Breaking Points audience is for this. I have no idea.
Joke, because if you go through and actually start to read what all of this is, they are targeting both individuals and others who basically like wrote op-eds or appeared on RT Russia Today as some sort of large encompassing Russian social media op, on top of highlighting some of the so-called Russian disinformation on social media. Somehow, Crystal, they have actually gotten worse, in my opinion, from 2016. If you'll remember all those idiot Bernie bro memes and some of the pro-Trump stuff, I will show you some of that in a little bit. But one case I've really had my eye on, this is actually part of this investigation, let's put this up there, is that of the DOJ, who is serving subpoenas and search warrants on certain individuals here in the United States who they allege are part of this vast Russian, state media campaign.
Vast.
One of them was Scott Ritter. Now, Scott is one of those people, many people watch the show may even know. I would say it's probably fair to say he's like very anti-establishment, has a very different view, I think, in the most charitable sense of the Ukraine conflict, and has been pretty vociferous about U.S. support to Ukraine. He's been accused of being quote-unquote pro-Russian, but his house was raided, as they put in here. The FBI went after him, and a lot of it seems to stem from the fact that he was very open about going on RT and or writing op-eds, for them. Now, I think that's very different, doing something out in the open and being very open with your opinions, as opposed to what Lauren Chen and Liam Donovan were doing.
Oh, no. Do I need to read these full indictments? Is he saying they only went after Scott Ritter because he wrote for RT? They raided his house? Is that why? Or is he completely and totally misrepresenting what that affidavit was about? What is this? Scott Ritter's speech in Chechnya.
Я хочу предоставить слово нашему уважаемому гостю.
Большое спасибо, ваш президент, ваш командир, ваш офицерам и солдат Чечни. Это моя второй раз в Чечне. Я до My первый раз, когда
Is he speaking in Russian, or is this like translated like with a voiceover?
Визит на Чечню. Я говорит, надо визит. Почему? Потому что сейчас вся Америка, вся Европа, люди только знают, когда я говорю Чечня, она думает...
He's speaking in slightly broken Russian. Holy Jesus. Okay.
Страшно человек. Но страшно не хорошо, страшно плохо. Это неправда. Когда я визитный, я смотрел чеченские люди. Самые хорошие люди. Люди хотят жить мир. Люди хотят дружба, все мир. Вы страшный солдат. Я знаю ваши истории. Я знаю, вы героем Мариуполь. Я знаю, вы героем Луганск, Донецк,
Oh no.
Херсон, Запорожье. Я знаю тоже, вы мужик, человек, хочет семья, хочет детки, хочет жизнь, не хочет борьба. Но сейчас работать надо. Вы работать, страшно работать. Но главный момент будет, когда войны кончились, и вы вернутся дома, и ружье, до свидания, семье, детки есть. Это будет главный момент. Это потому, что я здесь. Я хочу работать в дружба между Чечней и Америкой. Америка неплохо с места. Американские люди, как вы, хорошие люди. Государство — это другой вопрос, это политик. Я не политик. Я солдат, как вы. Я думаю, вы будете выиграть.
Jesus
вашу
Christ.
работу. Я знаю. И когда все, я хочу, чтобы все чеченские солдаты вернулись дома и нормальная жизнь. Еще один раз большое спасибо. Я очень рад здесь. Я очень рад с вами познакомиться.
Ritter was the subject of 2 law enforcement sting operations in 2001. He was charged in June 2001 with trying to set up a meeting with an undercover police officer posing as a 16-year-old. He was charged with misdemeanor crime of attempted endangerment of the welfare of a child, and then it was later dismissed and the record was sealed. And then he was arrested again in 2009 over communications with a police decoy he met in an internet chat site. Police said he exposed himself via webcam after the officer repeatedly identified himself as a 15-year-old girl. Oh no, it wasn't even like a female police officer pretending to be a young girl. It was a male police officer. Oh no. How okay. Listen, if he served his time or whatever, okay. Although, damn, an 8-year gap between these two behaviors. Who knows how many other kids he's fucking jerking off for online. Okay, so to be clear, it's the wannabe kitty fucker and the Russian Bucha massacre supporter people, Scott Ritter, that this guy is simping for. Okay, just to be clear, just so that I know who he's ball washing here. That's good. Thank you. Okay.
And has been pretty vociferous about U.S. support to Ukraine. He's been accused of being quote unquote pro-Russian, but he
he's been accused of being pro-Russian. Wait, hold on. Wait, I'm so sorry. Wait, is this a real video, or maybe this is?
Я хочу
Also, somebody asked if this was CGI'd. This does kind of look fake. Maybe this part is fake. Was this a real speech that he gave? Did he give a real speech over here? Or is this like all fucking bullshit? Yes, it's real, Destiny. No one denies this. Oh, okay. All right. Accused of being pro-Russia. Quote unquote.
his house was raided, as they put in here. The FBI
Bucha
went after him. And a lot of it seems to stem from the fact that he was very open about going on RT and or writing op-eds, you know, for them. Now, I think that's very different, doing something out in the open and being very open with your opinion.
Was that why the okay, hold on. FBI raid Ritter. Dude, I don't have time to fact check every stupid fucking thing. Ugh. Okay, so he's just guessing, ball washing some more. Okay.
As opposed to what Lauren Chen and Liam Donovan were doing, which is taking money knowingly from Russia and then funneling that to other people and basically deceiving them into some sort of large scheme. So I haven't wanted to keep my eye on this. I'm not saying I'm pro Scott Ritter or anything, but he's a U.S. citizen.
I mean,
yeah, he's a U.S. citizen, and he has a legitimate opinion. You may not agree with that opinion. Why are they going through this man's house?
Yeah.
Like, here's another thing that I would respect more, and this is why I don't respect conservatives and why they are subhuman in their approach to politics. Why would you, like, why not just say what he did directly and then defend that? Right? Why not say Scott Ritter, who is an incredibly pro-Russian American, right? He has a right to say that, because that's true, by the way. If you are pro-Russia, if you want Russia to win over Ukraine, if you don't think we should support Ukraine, that's your right as an American citizen to say that. And you should have the right to say that. I think you fully should be within your rights to say that. That's fine. Defend that. Why do you have to lie about his position? It makes you seem like a skeevy, snaky fuck if you won't just own his position and then defend it. It makes it seem like would you not defend him if they were his legitimate positions or what? Like,
U.S. citizen. I mean, the point he's a U.S. citizen, and he has a legitimate opinion. You may not agree with that opinion. Why are they going through this man's house?
Yeah, and he hasn't been indicted yet, just to be clear. But yeah, this is where you get into like, listen, you're allowed to be pro-Putin.
Like actually,
like this is this is America. We're supposed to have free speech rights, and even if your speech is
but what do you think he was raided just for being pro-Russia? That's the accusation with no information published. And the sad thing is that if an indictment gets published, they don't get any accountability for just the drivel that comes out of their mouths on the show. There's no accountability, none.
Supporting official bad guy regime of the U.S. government, like you're allowed to do that. So that's where it starts to get. The other thing with all of this, Sagar, is you're talking about one of the things that they're targeting is this this doppelganger campaign. They're calling it of this is the kind of the creating fake.
This is intentional too. Also, I hate this when people do this. Whenever you want to downplay something, you always do this. It's like what what's that stupid? What's this the 65 IQ blonde chick called? Emma. When she was like, "Oh, who are you?" Oh, I think he was called like this, like pretending not to know shit. When you're like, "Oh, this thing they're calling doppelganger, supposedly, allegedly," like these types of things, right? They never speak about. We'll say like Israel this way, right? It's never like the accusation is that there was this thing called, what do they call it, Bad Daddy or whatever, their AI program. There's this thing they always speak like way more concretely and resolutely about that. But the way that Sagar and Crystal Balls over here is talking about all the FBI stuff. It's like it's just done so dismissively. This thing that they're calling doppelganger, this
doppelganger campaign. They're calling
doppelganger, this thing like doppelganger. They're calling it.
Of this is the kind of the creating fake a network that use sites they say that impersonated legitimate news entities and fake social media profiles impersonating Americans. This goes back to like some of the core like 2016 allegations of the influence campaign that was being run there. And I'm not saying any of this is good. By the way, we engage in these types of activities as well, as does, and we'll get to this in a minute.
Oh, we got one of them. We do this too. Remember that? What was the second one I said they would say? That's one. It's always America's always just as bad as everybody else. Well, worse because we're larger and we've got a bigger responsibility. Okay, we got one. What was the second one that I said? Fuck, I don't remember, but we got that
and,
one.
I'm not saying any of this is good. By the way, we engage in these types of activities as well, as does, and we'll get to this in a minute, Israel, and no one seems that upset about that, and there's no indictment.
Yes, and the Jews. Thank God. Hell yes.
Good, by the way, we engage in these types of activities as well, as does, and we'll get to this in a minute, Israel, and no one seems that upset about that, and there's no indictments coming down about that, but we'll pause.
What indictments? Is Israel influencing people in the United States with like foreign money or foreign control that we know about that nobody's going after? Is that true? Like who?
That for a moment. We should also be clear about we have wildly expensive, elaborate, sophisticated presidential campaigns. Okay, the memes and the fake news, the things that they're putting out.
Wait, are these marching orders? Oh no, I'm about to have a schizo moment. Is she about to make the exact same point that Glenn Greenwald did? That the cost of the election is so big that this is just a drop in the bucket?
Like, it should freak you out that Russia is running our democracy, okay? It's even these videos, they got these top commentators on their payroll, unknowingly again, Tim Pool and Dave Rubin. These guys get millions of views, right? They're very popular in plenty of circles. And even their content, you were saying, is getting like 8,000 views on these videos. Like, that's nothing. That's nothing. So even as, in that instance, if the allegations are true, like there should be indictments there. You're laundering money, $10 million, you're creating fake businessmen, whatever. But let's also be really clear-eyed about how much impact any of this is actually having on our politics.
Yes, absolutely.
And
it's one indictment with one company. Like, how many do you need? Like, what, like, also, this is after the whole Internet Research Agency, and it's after the broader, 33 different web domains that the DOJ took down in another release yesterday. Like, how many do you need? Like, at what point does it become worrisome to you? Like, do you think this is the only thing they're doing? Do you think Scott Ritter only showed his cock to two supposedly underage people? Like, well, I mean, what is
going back to 2016 when you had the whole frenzy around this, whatever.
Oh, shit. Also, I'm so sorry. I'm missing a huge piece of context here. These guys are probably auditioning for their bit of Russian money, right? I know you guys just lost a huge subsidiary in the United States. Well, hey, listen, okay, if you're trying to funnel some money around, okay, consider breaking points. Would you consider reaching out to Mudahar, Willie Mack about making a video on the FAR indictments? If you, I messaged the Nicholas Diorio guy. He said they might hop on tomorrow, maybe.
There was never any evidence that any of it meaningfully impacted how people voted and what the actual outcome of that election.
They were never looking for that type of that. How would that's not even in the purview of the Justice Department to check. Like,
Absolutely.
And there is, going back to 2016 when you had the whole frenzy around this, whatever, there was never any evidence that any of it meaningfully impacted how people voted and what the actual outcome of that election ultimately was.
Yeah. And for example, I went through and actually read this indictment whenever it was coming out.
press X to doubt. He has never read a full indictment cover to cover in his entire fucking life. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Put this on the screen. I want people to see what was so spooky and scary. Here is one of the massive Russian influence operations. It was a Facebook page called CNN California, in blue, not even in the CNN logo. It had 2 likes and 7 followers. The description was from sunny beaches to bust.
Wait.
In blue is one of the massive Russian influence operations. It was a Facebook page called CNN California, in blue, not even in the CNN logo.
He didn't read it. I didn't even read this indictment. The point was to show that AI was creating pages and that it could copy logos and change the color. Yes, it's not even in the original color. They say that. They literally, this isn't an indictment, I don't think, by the way. Also, I believe it's just an affidavit. But they literally say that in here. Affidavit in support of seizure warrant. Fuck, what page was this? We saw this. They even explained, they explained that it was in a different color. That was the point of putting it in here. The use of targeted advertising by Doppelganger is corroborated by records obtained from Meta pursuant to a warrant which identified Meta pages and advertisers linked to the Doppelganger campaign. Notably, these records reveal Doppelganger's apparent use of artificial intelligence tools to generate content, including images and videos. This is an example of AI generating fake shit. So yeah, they take the CNN logo, they change the color to make it seem like it's, fucking Democrat and from California, and then they use this as part of like advertising campaigns. That's the whole point, you retarded fucking stooge. Why is he acting like he's making some novel insight here if you actually read any of this and you weren't just going by what you're probably underpaid interns were being paid to fucking collect for you to demonstrate on this fucking show so you can get on your knees and grovel for foreign money to shit on our country? You might actually fucking know that. Holy shit. Zero chance that he read this. Zero chance. He didn't even read this page. He didn't even read the page.
Whenever it was coming out. Let's put this on the screen. I want people to see what was so spooky and scary. Here is one of the massive Russian influence operations. It was a Facebook page called CNN California, in blue, not even in the CNN logo. It had 2 likes and 7 followers. The description was from sunny beaches to busting tech hubs. We explore the lifestyle, news, and development Californian. So grammatically incorrect, wrong logo, and weird banner. The next
with
is
7 followers.
Yeah, with 7 followers. Next is quote BBC California. Okay.
Okay, never mind.
Like, why should we care exactly? These are obviously a complete joke. And that's the point, is that they're very obvious throughout all of these. You had grammatical errors. You had social media pages with very few...
Yeah, just because something is a complete joke doesn't mean that people don't take it seriously. There are some channels on YouTube, for instance, that are incredibly successful, even though the people on them are insanely misinformed, never make coherent points about any of the shit they're talking about, like avoid accountability and responsibility as much as possible. These things exist in the world and people take them seriously. What is the point that he thinks he's making here?
Followers and their accounts. It actually reminds me of a lot of what came through the Twitter files, where you would watch the FBI get up in arms about some account that had like 12 followers that said, hey, everybody, the election's on Wednesday. And there's an FBI agent sitting in Northern Virginia, getting paid probably $100,000 a year plus benefits, scrolling through and searching Twitter, spending our taxpayer dollars time interfacing with social media company to try and get this stuff taken down. That's what all of this read through. And I went through, guys, this was a hundreds of pages indictment, and they point out these fake stories.
Hundreds of pages. 277 pages. Why are you lying about reading it? You didn't read shit. I don't even know if you can fucking read. Holy shit.
And they point out, they're like, the Russian government created dummy news websites. And you'll look at it, it'll be like WashingtonPost.kp or something. Sorry, who's going to that? Like, for real? Like, do you...
I mean, what about the ones that, if you look at the ones in the original Mueller indictment, right? Like, again, some of these Twitter accounts were followed by hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands of people followed these accounts. Nobody knew that they were fake. Now, again, I haven't read this, although the one page that I just happened to read already shows me that this fucking retard hasn't read it. Like... The point isn't that, also, I don't know if there might even be large accounts that are called out on this. I'm not in this affidavit. I'm not even sure. The point is that they're able to do it with AI. You have no idea how prolific these accounts have spread. There probably are some larger ones that are being operated, as you've just written off about the tenant media shit, right? You've got three of huge content creators in the United States, okay, that are somehow roped into this.
You really Google and then go to page 12 to click on WashingtonPost.kp? Are you that?
No, it wasn't about having to Google and go, you dipshit. It was about the fact that these people were buying advertisements. They were buying advertisements. You don't have to Google and go to some place. They're shown alongside your content.
Stupid. And if you are, you probably are going to fall for a 10 million more sites.
Yeah, well, that's why.
Yeah, like this channel.
I was going to say is, I mean, out of all of this, though, especially if you are on Twitter, like, you just need to not believe anything that's on there anymore, because so much of it is, it's not even this foreign influence, some of it is that.
Yeah.
But people just make shit up now. I mean, it's just, I know it's always been the case, but I think it is worse than ever before under the, new Elon model, where anyone can get a blue check, and then they use that as some sort of credibility, and they'll just make stuff up. Their sources say Tim Walz is about to drop out, and their sources say, like, Joe Biden's actually dead, and this is about, like, they will make stuff up. So please, I implore you, do not believe this, really, really double check.
Are these people left wing or right wing? They're anti-establishment, so they're retards. That's it. And then they're anti-establishment, and they're incredibly stupid. That's it.
Anything that you
again, like I said, I don't know who watches this show. I have no clue what the target audience is for this type of shit. It's insane to me.
Spreading online, because the problem has never been worse than it is right now. Last piece of this we referenced a couple times, put D6 up on the screen. We know that Israel organized and paid for an influence campaign that targeted lawmakers directly, and especially black lawmakers, and would pose as like black constituents trying to push the Israel agenda. And I won't hold my breath on the indictments forthcoming for that one, which just show you.
Let's see what this is about. Israel secretly targets. New York Times story, June 6, 2024. So 3 months ago. Israel's Ministry of Diaspora Affairs ordered the operation, which used fake social media accounts urging U.S. lawmakers to fund Israel's military, according to officials and documents about the effort. Israel organized and paid for an influence campaign last year targeting U.S. lawmakers and the American public with pro-Israel messaging as it aimed to foster support for its actions in the war in Gaza, according to officials involved in the effort and documents related to the operation. The covert campaign was commissioned by Israel's Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, a government body that connects Jews around the world with the state of Israel, four Israeli officials said. The ministry allocated about $2 million to the operation and hired Stoic, a political marketing firm in Tel Aviv, to carry it out, according to the officials and the documents. The campaign began in October. It remains active on the platform X. At its peak, it used hundreds of fake accounts that posed as real Americans on X, Facebook, and Instagram to post pro-Israel comments. The accounts focused on U.S. lawmakers, particularly the ones who are black and Democrats, such as Representative Hakeem Jeffries and the House Minority Leader from New York and Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia, with posts urging them to continue funding Israel's military. ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence-powered chatbot, was used to generate many of these posts. The campaign also created 3 fake English-language news sites featuring pro-Israel articles. The Israeli government's connection to the influence operation, which the New York Times verified with 4 current and former members of the Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, and documents about the campaign, has not previously been reported. Fake reporter and Israeli misinformation watchdog identified the effort in March. Last week, Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram and OpenAI, which makes ChatGPT, Meta owns. I didn't even know that. Meta owns OpenAI, which makes. Oh god, geez, I didn't know that connection. Said that they had also found and disrupted the operation. The secretive campaign signals the lengths Israel was willing to go to sway American opinion on the war in Gaza. Okay, so this is bad, obviously. Nobody should be covertly trying to fund bot farms or operations that are targeting really any American social media platforms. That is true. However, this is a far different in terms of gravity. Running a botnet on Twitter is a lot different than starting fake companies inside the United States to do this. I'm not even sure if you could indict somebody over this. Like, I don't know what the criminal behavior would be. It's possible. My understanding is all of the criminal indictments for the Russian stuff, even in the Mueller investigation, had to do with people disingenuously operating stuff in the United States. I believe that's what the IRA, the Internet Research Agency, and all the indictments related to that were about. And also, even if this is bad and you want to call it out, why would you use this as an opportunity to downplay something else? Why not just say, like, hey, this is bad as well, or this shouldn't happen, right? Doesn't it say fake sites were created? Yeah, but I don't know if these are like hosted in the United States. It just says English sites. For the problem with the IRA is the IRA, I believe, was an actual company that was established. It was like a legal entity established in the United States. Just because an English-speaking site is open doesn't mean you establish a whole new company, everything else. Microsoft owns AI, not Meta, or owns OpenAI, not Meta. Wait, is that true? Who owns OpenAI? Is controlled by the board of directors? No. It's divided between Microsoft, 49%, other stakeholders, 49%. Oh, well, I don't know why they have... Read that sentence again. Meta. Oh, I see. Never mind. Oh, man. What a poorly structured sentence. I understand. I'm sorry. Last week, Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, comma, and OpenAI, comma, which makes ChatGPT, said that they also found and disrupted the operation. I read this as Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, and OpenAI, which makes ChatGPT. So they okay, but this is just a separate clause or whatever. Jesus, what a sentence.
Like, it's very black lawmakers, and Israel organized and paid for and influenced some sort of credibility, and they'll just make stuff up. Their sources say Tim Walz is about to drop out. Their sources say like Joe Biden's actually dead and this is a bot. Like they will make stuff up. So please, I implore you, do not believe this. You know, really, really double check anything that you are seeing spreading online, because the problem has never been worse than it is right now. Last piece of
For the dumb ones, could you explain why it matters? There is, I don't technically know if it's illegal. I don't know if you're breaking any laws. If you, let's say that you're in, well, we can even use Russia as an example. Let's say that Russia has a bot farm in Russia that creates fake accounts on X and then like spams bad social media posts or whatever, or fake news or whatever to US lawmakers. I don't know if that's technically breaking any laws. I'm not even sure. I don't know if there's like a law that you would even implicate that, right? It's foreign actors making accounts on social media websites. I don't know if you can ever, I don't know if you would even charge somebody with a crime on that. Creating a legal entity in the United States, though, well, now that's subject to all of the rules and regulations of the United States. And obviously, you're going to assume some liability there for civil or criminal matters in a way that you wouldn't just making an account on a website, right?
this we referenced a couple times, put D6 up on the screen. We know that Israel organized and paid for an influence campaign that targeted lawmakers directly, and especially black lawmakers, and would pose as like black constituents trying to push the Israel agenda.
See, like the way that she's phrasing this, an influence campaign and targeting people, in the context of what we just read, is a totally different thing. You can argue that it's not good, and it probably isn't. All of this bot shit online is fucking AIDS as fuck, okay? Whether Israel, Russia, or anybody's fucking doing it, 100%. But this is not the same type of like creating legal entities in the United States to pay people for propaganda talking points. It's like not even remotely the same thing.
And, you know, I'll hold my...
Wouldn't you be liable just for messing with Americans? Does having your company based in another country really protect you from prosecution? It's not a crime to mess with Americans. That's not a crime, right?
I won't hold my breath on the indictments forthcoming for that one, which just show you, like, it's very selectively applied.
Of course.
Bottom line, it's very selectively
Like indictments for what? What's the crime that's being alleged here?
applied here.
Is that there's so much filthy stuff out there and people who are trying to buy your attention. I mean, B5, you know, I put this in on purpose to put B5, please, on the screen, because as you see, they are also at the same time saying, quote, Iran emerges as a top disinformation threat in U.S. presidential race. And without fail, you know, these conservatives, they're so laughable. For years, they cry about Russiagate.
Let me see if there's anything else in here that... The outburst is the first argument case of the Israeli government's organized campaign to influence U.S. government. Social media experts said, while coordinated government-backed campaigns are not uncommon, they are typically difficult to prove. Iran, North Korea, China, Russia, and the United States are widely believed to back similar efforts around the world, but often master involvement by outsourcing the work to private companies or running them through a third country. Israel's role in this is reckless and probably ineffective, said Achia Schatz, the executive director of Fake Reporter, that Israel ran an operation that interferes in U.S. politics is criminally irresponsible. Israel's Ministry of Diaspora Affairs denied involvement in the campaign and said no connection to Stoic. Stoic didn't respond to requests for comment. The campaign didn't have a widespread impact. Meta and OpenAI said last week the fake accounts accumulated more than 40,000 followers across X, Facebook, and Instagram. Fake Reporter found many of those followers may have been bots and didn't generate a large audience. Meta said the operation began just weeks in the war of October, according to the Israeli officials. Is there anything else that is alleged in here? Okay, this is just creating fake accounts, I believe. In at least two instances, accounts with profile photos of black men posted about being a middle-aged Jewish woman. Based. The campaign also created 3 fake news sites with names like Non-Agenda and Unfold Magazine, which stole and rewrote material from outlets including CNN and The Wall Street Journal to promote Israel's stance during the war. According to Fake Reporter's analysis, fake accounts on Reddit then linked to the articles on the so-called news sites to help promote them. We should check our subreddit. Do they link in there? The effort was sloppy. Profile pictures used in some accounts sometimes didn't match the fictional personas they cultivated, and the language used in the posts was stilted. Oh, hi. Thank you, sir. In at least 2 instances, accounts with profile photos of black men. Okay, we did this. On 118 posts, the fake accounts shared pro-Israel activities, or I'm sorry, articles. The same sentence appeared. I got to reevaluate my opinions due to this new information. Okay. Losers. Okay, and then what was the other story? Iran emerges as a top disinformation threat. This is by Shira Frankel, June 5th, 2024. This is one day ago by 3 different authors. A website called Savannah Times describes itself as your trusted source for conservative news and perspectives in the vibrant city of Savannah. Another site, Noi Thinker, wants to be your go-to destination for insightful progressive news. The online outlet, Westland Sun, appears to cater to Muslims in suburban Detroit, none of what they appear to be. Instead, they're part of what American officials, tech company analysts say is an intensifying campaign by Iran to sway this year's American presidential election. Iran has long carried out clandestine information operations. I wonder if these websites had any domestic companies that were set up to represent them, or if they're just fake websites pretending to be. For the Israel article, were they pretending to be, were they just English-speaking sites, or were they, let me check. English language news sites. Oh, wait, it listed them down below, right? Okay. Goal of sowing internal discord and discrediting the democratic system in the United States, more broadly in the eyes of the world. Iran is becoming increasingly aggressive in their foreign influence efforts, seeking to stoke discord and undermine confidence in our democratic institutions. Engage in line with the council actors. Estimating that Iran perceives this year's election to be particularly consequential in terms of the impact they could have on its national security interests. Iran's mission to the UN declined to comment on the disinformation campaigns of websites targeting the U.S. An earlier statement issued on 19th addressing efforts to hack Mr. Trump's campaign. The mission said that the allegations are unsubstantiated, void of any meaning. Companies controlled by the Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, according to one Iranian official. Projects from tech firms and startups in Iran. So much you're not fully aware. Thank you, sir. Yep, Iranians, one is a member of the guard. So no. Already this year, Iranian operatives have succeeded in hacking the emails of Roger Stone, a longtime advisor to Mr. Trump, and attempted to penetrate the campaign of Mr. Biden and Mr. Harris with unclear results. Meta disclosed last month that it had detected a similar effort against both political campaigns on WhatsApp, the messaging app. Damn. Was anything ever leaked from the Roger Stone stuff? Iran's focus on the U.S. sharpened as Israel, an American ally, invaded Gaza after this. Exchange fire here. The Supreme Council for Cyberspace. Behest. In his talk with Josiah, Mehdi Hassan said he wouldn't have a talk with you. Behest. I used to watch Breaking Point's target audience as younger people / university students who want to be informed and think the right-left mix between them keep each other in check. For me, I didn't care enough to actually read for myself, so I went somewhere I thought I could trust. That was until something I did actually care about came up, and I did read about it and realized how out of touch these two are. Gotcha. Damn, okay.
I mean, U.S. presidential race. And as you see, they are also at the same time saying, quote, Iran emerges as a top disinformation threat in U.S. presidential race. And without fail, you know, these conservatives, they're so laughable. For years, they cry about Russiagate. And I mean, Russiagate was a scam. But then the moment that there's some BS EOT being like, Iran's funding the protest, they're like, the entire protest movement is being funded by Iran. I'm like, do you hear yourselves? Do you hear yourselves? Did we not just go through this? Are some of those people getting paid by Iran? Maybe. You know, I need to see.
Was anybody saying that Iran was funding the entirety of it? I don't think even conservatives were saying something that crazy, but okay.
A lot of evidence. I mean, that's part of the thing, too, relating back to our tenant media discussion. The evidence is pretty unrefutable. You got wire transfers, you got private communications, you got all this other stuff. Now, again, I'm willing to hear them out. Like, if they really had some alternative explanation, that'd be fine. But you know, we got to wait and see. This is the allegation of the U.S. government here. Here as well, though, you can obviously watch Iran, Israel, Russia, all these other people have all these influence operations that are currently happening here in America. But only Russia is called out, and they were whipping it into hysteria. And that's another issue. Is
because they don't even go through anything. They haven't read anything, or they just don't even know the difference, or it's all the same to them. Israel was accused of creating artificial accounts on a social media website to try to flip U.S. opinion on, I guess, the war in Gaza. Iran, according to that New York Times article, has been accused of setting up websites that misrepresent themselves as being part of U.S. cities, okay, that are pretending to, be domestic citizens that are giving news, and they're hacking like U.S. email accounts that are relating to campaigns, which seems to be more the hacking part is definitely the more severe part. And then Russia is establishing shell corps across the world to pay other corporations in the United States and to misrepresent to people in the United States who they even are when they're going to hire commentators. These are all different things. Every single thing here is a different thing.
Is that the Russiagate people are having the greatest day of their lives because you've got commentators who they despise who are revealed to have been secret cutouts for Russian payments. On top of this, like, oh my God, everything we see on social media already. I watch these CNN freaks like Asha Raganapa or whatever who work at CNN be like, coincidentally, the Russian playbook exactly matches the Trump-Vance agenda. And you're like, okay, like here we go again.
Here we go.
Right, here we go again. And this is everything they've ever wanted. CNN is having a field day. By the way, who do you think broke the news that this was happening? CNN's Jim Acosta. It just tells you everything you need to know. Like it is obvious that they want to whip this all up again. The Democrats, especially the elite.
Wait, did they break the news? Or was this just like, didn't this all come out when the indictments, when the two indictments were unsealed and then when the DOJ made a press release? Like, how early was this news broken? Wasn't this just a DOJ press release? What is he talking about? Wait, what? Acosta, CNN, indictments. I don't even know what he's talking about. It was reported earlier in the week. With any level of detail, or can you link the story?
Again, and this is everything they've ever wanted. CNN is having a field day. By the way, who do you think broke the news that this was happening? CNN's Jim Acosta. It just tells you everything you need to know. Like it is obvious that they want to whip this all up again. The Democrats, especially the elite ones, and a lot of the commentators are loving this. We'll see if the Kamala campaign picks up on it. Wouldn't put it past them. It would be smart not to do it. But in general, what we can really learn, from this indictment is that, look, you think we're not up to very similar things in many other foreign countries. Hopefully, we're doing a much better job than CNN California.
I doubt we are.
We probably aren't.
Just a last thing on the Israel point that I wanted to point out is what they did are confirmed to have done according to multiple reports, including an Israeli news outlets. And again, this came directly from the Israeli government, is so similar to this whole doppelganger thing. They created fake news websites.
Yeah, exactly right.
They invented fake personalities, interacting with lawmakers. They got caught because somebody who was, involved with this didn't change their profile pic. They kept it as like, some random white dude. And then they were posting like, as a middle-aged black woman.
That wasn't the only reason they got caught. It sounds like they had ex-sources from inside the ministry that was confirming this information. And it sounds like they made quite a few mistakes because Israel doesn't do foreign propaganda in a very sophisticated way because they suck at it. Which is something I've been stressing for the past several months. They suck at propaganda. But it's not the same thing that the Russians were accused of. It wasn't even the same thing in the New York Times article that Iran was accused of. Iran was accused of hacking Roger Stone's fucking email account. And Russia is establishing fake companies in the United States. These aren't even remotely the same thing. These aren't the same thing.
Didn't change their profile pic. They kept it as like, some random white dude. And then they were posting like, as a middle-aged black woman, blah, blah, blah. But it's exactly the same as like the, the doppelganger thing that they're alleging with the Russians. So in any case, I guess Russiagate, here we go again.
Yes, here we go again.
But please, guys, if whoever's out there listening, if some random person who you can't find online is offering you millions of dollars to produce a handful of videos, like maybe think a little bit about that one. Maybe
I get it. Cybertruck, it seems cool. I understand.
Plenty of money anyway. Like they're already so rich.
That is what I was going to get to. At the same time, I'm like, guys, I know how much you're probably making, and it's like it's enough. At what point?
You're good.
Yeah, you're very good. You don't need to take sketchy deals. You can make plenty of money legitimately and not have problems now with the Department of Justice. And look, the legal fees that you're going to incur on a case like this. Oh my God, some of these, from what I understand, these Washington lawyers who work on these DOJ, they charge like $1,000 an hour, just to interface with the government on your behalf. So good luck, to some of those folks out there.
$1,000 an hour? $1,000 an hour lawyer? Jesus, really?
It's not worth it. It's not worth even the public reputation hit they'll take on something like this. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Lauren Chen from here. As of yet,
honestly, she should go to jail. She really should, or she should get at the very least she should be put on probation or something like that. And all of those people involved, Ruben, you should sue her. They really should. Like sue, take their assets because the public reputation would be pretty easy to prove about the damages of what you've done. And second, the U.S. government has the direct evidence of you lying to people. So screw you. Honestly, I have genuinely scum to put something like that onto other people. That's, if anything, maybe you can live with taking money from a foreign government, but deceiving others that is the worst thing you can do. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or